rise, join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have roll call, please.
Mr. Costick.
Here.
Mr. Wood is absent. Ms. Isabella.
Here.
Mr. Bosley.
Here.
Ms. Kelting.
Here.
Clerk is here. Mr. Favreau.
Here. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the South Plattsburgh Fire Department, South Plattsburgh Fire District for letting us host our meeting here this evening. This is the third of 4 outreach meetings that we're trying to do in the town. We've already been up Wallace Hill at the District 3 Fire Station. Last month we were in Cumberland Head. Here this month we're going to skip the summer months and we'll end up in Katyville probably in September. But we do thank you. We're just trying to get out into the community. Before I open it up for public comments, I would like to make a presentation this evening. Had the opportunity last month to attend the South Plattsburgh Fire Department's annual banquet where they did a very lovely presentation for a long time member of their board. We're not going to say necessarily South District Board, but I think, Ron, you said Wally had her as number 6, is that right? Or if I remember the story right. And very much so. So first of all, Nina, I want to apologize. If I wasn't so new at this job, I probably would have had this citation that we're going to present this evening there that night, but I'm a newbie, so there's still boxes that I'm not used to checking. But I think in the long run, it's maybe a little more appropriate that we do it right here in the building that you helped make sure got from the ground up and the fire station moved from down the road up there, along with the building over on Route 9. As you know, I have a pretty good understanding of how fire departments and fire districts work too. And I think a lot of times the general public does not know everything that goes into a fire district. I don't think they really fully and completely understand everything that goes on. I don't think they understand the millions of dollars in equipment that are sitting out in the bays, the millions of dollars that go into buildings, and what really is put forth by pretty much volunteers and a few support people from the district that may get a very limited stipend that sometimes just covers the gas money, maybe if you're lucky. Certainly doesn't cover the hours. So, and I will just say Nina's 65 years with the South Plattsburgh Fire District as their admin, and Jeff, the fire chief, did a great job that evening. I can't remember how many fire trucks was it. I should have asked you for your notes. Dozens of fire trucks, how many different chiefs that were here during that 65-year period. I mean, that is just absolutely an amazing run. And that's only part of what you've done. That list goes on in the community. Every effect in everything that you've done in our local area for the town, the city, and in the county in general. You've been involved in so many things and such a great presence. So, if you could come up, and actually I'll have the board members come up with me too. I think that would be appropriate. JP. So Nina, on behalf of the town, I'd like to present to you Supervisor's citation in celebration of retiring as District Secretary for the South Plattsburgh Fire Department after an incredible 65 years of dedicated service. Your commitment has left a lasting impact on the department and the community.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh,
Jeez.
lasagna and filet mignon. There we go.
Lots
We're
of
all
stuff.
set. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Ina.
much for your
Thank
service.
you so much for your service. Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was something I honestly can say I enjoyed. And I have to say, this was a fabulous board to work with. They never mind, I would come in with some new laws, new rules, whatever. Didn't faze them a bit. We'd move on and we did what we had to do. I happen to love to read the law. I worked for CJ too long.
We won't hold that against you.
Even though my background's accounting. And they are just a dedicated group. They're always there, they're rarely missing a meeting, and people don't have any idea what they contribute in their lifetime while they serve here, as well as the chief. I happen to think the chief is very special too, because he really knows how to fight fires. So I keep hearing this all around the county. Oh, you've got a chief that really knows what he's doing. But so, I just want to say thank you to you for this, and I thank the board and the chief for the pleasure of working with South Plattsburgh Fire District. It's been a wonderful run. Thank you.
Thanks again, Nina. And I will repeat to the chief what I said at their banquet, even though they painted their trucks the wrong color. Truly, I know, because I'm in the field a lot from the first response side and get to work with the South Plattsburgh Fire Department very often on a lot of different projects and obviously a lot of fire scenes. But the one thing that I know, when that yellow truck pulls up, I know that I'm gonna get a well-trained, well-equipped crew that's gonna be able to go to work and get the job done. And I truly do mean that. I know when they pull up, it's gonna get done, and I appreciate that, not only from the town aspect, but from the firefighting aspect. And Nina, to your point, we have 5 very dedicated fire districts in the town, and I think there are an awful lot of people that just don't understand everything those 5 fire districts are doing. But they are a vital part of the town, and we need to make sure that we recognize and do everything that we can for them. But thank you again. I would open it up if we have any public comments.
Chuck, I've got a couple.
Sure.
First, I want to thank you and the town board for doing this. Number of years since this has been done, and this is great to come out and see us here. And, you know, unfortunately, you get about as many people here as we get for a board meeting. You know, it's great that the opportunity's here. Thank you for acknowledging and honoring Nina. The answer to the question is how many fire trucks, how many fire chiefs? It's really an easy answer. All of them. Right? All of them. Everything, you know, everything that happened here, she's been a part of. So it's really an easy answer. I jotted a few notes down, and Chuck, you just spoke to some of it and why the rest of the town board's here. I know you're in the business, but I said, what an opportunity just for a few minutes to talk about what the fire service looks like in the town of Plattsburgh. As you know, 5 different separate fire districts that protect the town of Plattsburgh. 3 of us also entirely protect the town of Schuyler Falls, so we have to work with both towns. That equals approximately 100 volunteers between the 5 fire departments. Which in today's world of you know, lack of volunteers and needing volunteers, we're very, very fortunate in the town that we have the pool that we have. I did some really quick math. And it's a fuzzy number because it's some people go into the same calls. The 5 fire departments answer 2,000 calls a year is roughly what our volunteers are doing. Different times of day, night, you know, and they are just a tremendous service at a very low cost to the town, to the people that we serve. You've probably seen some, heard some of the initiatives. We've worked very hard the last few years to develop a training initiative with all 5 fire departments. It's not uncommon for us on a training night to put 80 volunteers in this room for a training session. And that's something that we're extremely proud of, that we're able to do that. We're able to put these people together in one room, and the networking and the relationships that we've built are probably equal to or more important than some of the training or what the lesson might be that night. We've gone so far as we've started to work on some cooperative purchasing. 3 of the 5 fire departments, we're buying our turnout gear all the same. We're buying it at the same time. We're buying it from the same vendor. We're getting a better price.
Actually, Jeff, you're up to 4.
Are you guys getting in on that? Are you changing color?
Next time around, but
So-
we did use the spec, just black.
So we'll have 4 out of the 5.
It'll be 4 out of the 5.
And what that's done, at a scene operationally, when the fire departments show up together, if the trucks weren't a different color, as Chuck points out, you couldn't tell that it's not one fire department working collectively. And that's just a real testament to the work and the time and that everybody puts in. The other thing we look to, the state's funding a grant annually for the fire service. Departments can apply individually and collectively as a group. One of the things we've took to look at when the grant comes out in 2027 is doing a grant with all 5 fire departments. We have a system, was put in place a number of years ago through the town, through codes, that any buildings with fire alarms required to have a Knox box. We have 5 fire departments with 5 systems and 5 different keys. So one of the things we look to do with the grant is to recore all of those boxes so that everybody's key works regardless of where the call is. When we get to that point, some one of us from the fire departments, and it might be the supervisor, is probably gonna come back to the board looking for a letter of support that we do that. And you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity, while you're here, a couple initiatives, a couple of priorities for us here in the fire district that we asked the board to help with. One being a problem that none of us are gonna, they all might be problems that none of us are gonna solve, but problems that we can work on collectively. The Burdow Road, Route 22, exit 36, southbound off-ramp intersection. If you haven't spent any time there, when you leave tonight, turn into Quality Drive, LTS Mobile Homes, and just watch that intersection for 5 minutes. We've had firefighters injured in that intersection. Traffic is fast through there. Traffic doesn't stop coming off the interstate. And the biggest problem is the exit from the gas station is so close to the interstate. You know, we've tried to work before with state DOT, and you know, it's something we'd like to try to take back on, and maybe we can write some letters collectively and generate some interest in trying to do something there. The short-term easy fix is potentially working with there's new owners of the store, is to get them to abandon that entrance and exit way closest to the interstate. Number 2, and I know you've dealt with this, Chuck, we've talked about this with regard to the gate that you put up at Battlefield across from Claire and Carl's.
Yeah.
Something we saw just at the very tail end of the heating season as we rolled into spring is where the unhoused population is popping up and potentially in dangerous situations for our firefighters. Buildings that we would think or we would believe are deemed to be abandoned may not be because of that situation. And you know, I know that Steve and the codes office does their spring roundup and looking for people to clean their yards up and pick up junk, but maybe we could ask them in the fall to take a tour, and the properties that I identify as derelict, can they make sure that the owner has got them secured? I know that's a struggle because they're probably not in contact with the owner, and that's why they're that way. But you know, if it's just one more set of eyes and one more thing that we can do to try to keep our people safe. And the last thing I've got, and it's on behalf of the board, we protect a portion of what was the former Air Force Base, and have protected that since the Air Force left, since the Air Force Base closed, since before it was even annexed as part of the town. We protected that as a contract. As things have changed there, over the 30 years since the base has left, we're not getting, the fire district is not being compensated fairly for the fire protection that it's providing the county properties there. The agreement that was put in place was that the county would pay us the special district tax on any property that they have leased. That's not an easy way to do that. There's not a real check and balance on what that number is and how those funds come back to the fire district. So I, one of the things I would ask is, how does the county pay the town for the lighting district and for the water and sewer district as their special district taxes, just like the fire district taxes are? So that's something that we'd like to work on collectively and again, with the board's support.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time and appreciate y'all coming out here tonight.
Thanks, Jeff. And just with a couple of those, Jeff, what I would suggest with the special district tax, if you want to get together and Ron or anybody else from the board, what we can do is set up a meeting with assessing. I don't know if everybody's aware of it or not. We contract with the county for assessing services. That went into effect September of last year. We have an assessor embedded in-house from the county, but Jeremiah is absolutely terrific to work with. So I think if there's a project that we can undertake to take a look at these properties, I think he would be the person to go to, and I think he's going to be able to pull all that data up between he and Kate as admin. The two together, I think we can probably get some information together.
Yeah,
He's terrific to work with. So I think that's going to be, I don't want to say an easy fix, but I think there's a road that we can travel down with that one. The one thing I will say with the unhoused, if there's one thing that we did learn with the Battlefield Memorial Gateway, and we did have to undertake a major cleanup over there, which is done. But the one thing that we have done, we have really made sure that our outside crews are very in tune with and are looking for those type situations. Matter of fact, I just had one handed over to me today. But they are really starting to look for those situations. I'm not going to say that we really have looked at abandoned properties, but certainly we can add that to the list because we have a lot of eyes and ears out there. There's 52 full-time employees. So we have a lot of water trucks, a lot of highway trucks, and not just the codes people, but we can throw in the parks and the facilities people. And what we've really put out there is start to keep your eyes open, share that information with us so that we can work if there's a situation to try to get it corrected. And we do work hand in hand with the county agencies to try to make sure if something has to take place, that we can do everything we can to help those individuals.
What really drove that home was the airport reported to us that two of the properties off Arizona Avenue, two abandoned county buildings.
Oh, okay.
North of the snow barn.
Okay.
They had found evidence of people living in them and having had fires in them. Buildings that I never would have imagined that we would go to and expect to see people in them. That kind of really drove that home for us. That given the current situation, a building that you may expect no one to be in, that may not be the case any longer.
Well, and that's 100%, Jeff. I mean, we know that if you and I pull up in front of that building and there's a fire, you're probably going there with the assumption that there's not going to be anybody in there. But if this is the case, then you can't go there with that assumption at that point. So that's a good point, and, we'll continue to work with our crews, and I would say the same thing from the fire side. If you see those situations reported up, we can get over to Steve, Allen, and Brett and make sure that they're aware of it. Anything else for public comment? So I always say this, we're not telling people to leave, but don't feel upset if you want to get up and leave. So I always, no, you're paid. You gotta sit down, man.
Worth a shot.
But that's up to you. Like I said, don't feel that you're offending us, because the rest of this, and this typically would be a work session, but we do have quite a few resolutions to go through because we're not having a meeting next week. But thank you again, Diane, I'm so glad, thank you so much.
Thank you for doing what you did. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate it, and I truly apologize. Had I been on my real game, we would have had it that night.
Well, that's just.
But this worked
fine.
out better, I think it's
It
better.
did. This is very nice, and I wanted the opportunity to say that this board has been fantastic to work with.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that, I'm sharing from the other side, which I think you should know how much they devote and how much they care, and, well, you can see the facility.
Exactly,
It is.
they do a great job with it.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night.
you.
He sure is.
Good. Will you tell them that I said hi?
I definitely will.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good
Take
night.
care.
Should have her at more meetings, she'd get a better time.
You're right,
Yeah.
exactly. What are you doing a week or 2 weeks from tonight? We'll go through the resolutions quick, and then I do have a few items for the supervisor's report. So we will go to resolution 152.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 6C26 for $39,628.52. Abstract 6C26 prepays for the amount of $273,565.61 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ramona, do I have a second? Dan, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 153, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file monthly department head reports for facilities, highway superintendent, parks and recreation, planning and community development, supervisor's financial report, town clerk, and water and wastewater.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dina, do I have a second?
Second.
Ramona, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 154, declaration of July as official Michigan month.
Whereas regional food icons are an integral part of community, economy, and culture, and whereas similar to our neighbors that are known for such delicacies as poutine, garbage plates, coney dogs, and buffalo wings, and whereas Plattsburgh, in our corner of the North Country, is known for Michigan dog, and whereas the Michigan is a delicious hot dog served in a split top bun topped with specially seasoned meat sauce served with and without mustard and onions, and whereas the Michigan has been an iconic food landmark and local favorite for more than 90 years, and whereas the town of Plattsburgh is the home of the Michigan, with the highest concentration of Michigan restaurants, which have been staples in the community for decades, and whereas July 15th is National Hot Dog Day and Americans consume over 150 million hot dogs on Independence Day, and whereas the Michigan is forever buried in regional culture, now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby declare the month of July Michigan Month in the town of Plattsburgh.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dina, do I have a second?
Second.
Dan, just a couple things from the discussion. We will be doing a press conference on July 1, just announcing the Michigan passport. Everything's ready to go, and we'll start issuing out the passports that day. We did add on Michigan's Plus to the Michigan passports. The t-shirts are in. If you haven't seen them, stop by. Planning, Community Development, they great. And just remember, we have the full month, and we will actually wrap up the month with the Michigan Fest on August 1st. So that worked out perfect this year. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, ketchup is acceptable too.
No, it's not on a hot dog.
Michigan? Absolutely.
Not on a hot dog even,
He's a
sorry.
communist.
Onions, berry, ketchup on top.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 155, appointment of Alicia Blanchard, JCO Board of Directors.
Whereas the town supervisor has recommended the appointment of Alicia Blanchard to serve as the town of Plattsburgh's representative on the JCEO Board of Directors. And whereas Ms. Alicia Blanchard has expressed her willingness to serve and has demonstrated a strong commitment to meeting the needs of the community, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh hereby approve the appointment of Alicia Blanchard to replace the appointment of Wendy Baker to the JCEO Board of Directors, and be it further resolved that said appointment shall be for a term commencing immediately expiring in the year 2033.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dan, do I have a second?
Second.
Ilona, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 156, resolution adopting local law number 3 of 2026, a local law providing immunity for town actions from the town zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations.
Whereas a resolution was duly adopted by the town board of the town of Plattsburgh for a public hearing to be held by said governing body on June 18th, 2026 at 6:05 p.m. at the town of Plattsburgh, 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, to hear all interested parties on a proposed local law entitled Local Law 3 of 2026, local law providing immunity for town actions from town zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations. And whereas notice of said public hearings was duly advertised in the Press Republican, the official newspaper of said town, on June 10th, 2026. And whereas said public hearing was duly held on June 18th, 2026 at 6:05 p.m. at 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf of or in opposition to said proposed local law and any part thereof. And whereas pursuant to Part 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8 of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, it has been determined by the town board of the town of Plattsburgh that this is a type 2 action, and no further review will be and could be processed by other applicable government agencies without further regard to seeker. And whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh, after due deliberation, finds in the best interest of the town to adopt said local law. Therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh hereby adopts said local law number 3 of 2026, a local law providing immunity for the town actions from town zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations, a copy of which is attached hereto and made a part of this resolution. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to enter into the local law in the minutes of this meeting and in the local law book of the town of Plattsburgh, and to give due notice of adoption of said local law to the Secretary of State of the State of New York. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be provided to the Planning and Community Development Department and Codes and Zoning Department for their records.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dana, do I have a second?
Second?
Dan, do I have any discussion? Seeing none, can we do a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Isabella,
Yes.
Mr. Mosley,
Yes.
Ms. Kelting,
Yes.
Mr. Costa.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution number 157, authorizing the highway superintendent to start the 2026 paving program.
Whereas Greg Brunel, Highway Superintendent, has identified town roads that are in greatest need of repair with a total estimate of $285,000. And whereas funding for the 2026 road paving, road repair, and improvement program is to be taken from the accounts as listed. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the highway superintendent to spend the appropriated funds to implement the aforementioned 2026 road paving program with further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the highway superintendent.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dana, do I have a second?
Second.
Ilona, do I have any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 158, Twin State Maintenance Renewal Agreement.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh maintains a maintenance agreement with Twin State to provide telephone hardware, software, and system support. And whereas Twin State has submitted the service details and pricing to the town for service from September 1, 2026 to August 31st, 2027. And whereas the town board has provided within the general fund of the town of Plattsburgh's 2026 budget for the approval of the service details and pricing of our ongoing contract with Twin State in the amount of $7,889.11. Therefore be it resolved that the contract service details and pricing submitted by Twin State be approved and the supervisor is authorized to execute the same for the town of Plattsburgh. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ilona, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And any discussion? I will mention that Jen has done quite a bit of work on this, did get some monies kicked off based on some services that may have been in the agreement that we didn't use or didn't actually have. The other thing that we're looking at with this is what do we do in the future? In a lot of businesses you go to today, you don't necessarily even have a phone on your desk. Everything comes through the desktop. So we are looking at that as a possibility to get rid of some of that hardware and just work it right through. Because I know with my wife, there's basically no phones. They put a headset on or they answer it right through the speakers from the phone. So we are looking at that as a possibility. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 159, corrective easement authorization Delaware River Solar Benny Blake Road project.
Whereas the Delaware River Solar Benny Blake site plan and special use permit project identified the need for an easement, access easement over the lands of the town of Plattsburgh known as Benny Blake Road in order to develop access for the proposed project. And whereas the proposed corrective easement in gross identifies an approximate 49.5-foot wide and 1,639-foot long easement along the eastern boundary line of the recently subdivided parcel identified in Schedule A of the draft easement for consideration. And whereas the project is subject to the solar local law, zoning ordinance, and all conditions set forth in the detailed preliminary plan approval by the planning board, as well as those to be applied by the codes and zoning department for building permits and energization, now therefore be it resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to sign said corrected easement, that it be filed with the necessary forms at Clinton County, and that a certified copy of said resolution be returned to the Planning and Community Development Department and the project representative and council.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ilona, do I have a second?
Second?
And this is, the first one, we didn't quite give them enough. So we needed to just correct that so a little bit more is all it boiled down to. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 160, notice of public hearing on the sale of crypts and niches at Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum.
Whereas in legal action by the state of New York to dissolve the corporate existence of Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens Incorporated on January 6, 2016, did place the mausoleum facility and property, including tax map 201.6-6, into receivership, and whereas pursuant to sections 1101, 1102, and 1109 of the not-for-profit corporate law, said property was transferred to and vested in the town of Plattsburgh on February 24, 2020 by Supreme Court, State of New York, Clinton County Court action. And whereas the facility has been known as the Town of Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum which stated in part that no new purchases of lots, crypts, or niches will be allowed. And whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh endeavors to begin the sale of crypts and niches at the town of Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum, and whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh deems it necessary and in the best interest of the community to establish new fees and charges for crypts and niches at the Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Plattsburgh acknowledges its legal responsibility for maintaining the Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum facility and property in perpetuity, and after review of these obligations finds that the best interest of the community would be served by holding a public hearing to discuss the same. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause notice of public hearing regarding the proposal of selling crypts and niches at the Plattsburgh Community Mausoleum in accordance with town law. And it is further resolved that the public hearing be held on July 9th, 2026 at 6:05 p.m. for the purpose of hearing all persons for and against this action, to be held at the town of Plattsburgh Town Hall, 151 Banker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be provided to the town clerk and town supervisor.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dan, do I have a second?
Second?
Dana. Discussion, first of all, I want to thank Jay for all of his work on this. He's worked diligently to move us in this direction since he took office. I know he's still working to finalize the fee schedule, et cetera, and also finalize the policies, procedures for the mausoleum. And I think, I know at least Jay and I agree that this is a right, logical next step to take with the mausoleum, and we think that it's the right time to do this. I would also say that we're not required to hold a public hearing. We could have taken action without holding a public hearing. We both felt it best to put it out to the public to see if there's anybody that has any concerns about it. And I would ask anybody from the public that wishes to attend or has any comments about the mausoleum, that's a great time to bring those forth to the board.
Such a sensitive environment, one that's sacred to many people, and so giving everybody the most opportunity to be able to speak about its future is really important.
Yeah, agreed. And Jay has a lot of great ideas, and we have some community ideas already that have started to come forth, to include some potential memorials that either don't exist at this point or that exist in the community in an area where maybe isn't quite the right spot to have that memorial, to bring that together in what really should be a space that serves as a memorial to the entire community. I think it's just a great opportunity for us to bring the whole level of the mausoleum forward. So, any further discussion? Seeing none, and remember, we're just voting to approve the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 161, Agriculture and Industrial Fair of Clinton County, Inc.
Whereas the town clerk has received an application with a fee, a check for the amount of $600, for a license to conduct and operate a place of public amusement within the town of Plattsburgh from the Agricultural and Industrial Fair of Clinton County, Inc. at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. And whereas upon the applicant received the insurance of the New York State Certificate of Inspection by the Code Enforcement Officer indicating full compliance, and it will be submitted to the town clerk's office, therefore be it resolved that after review of the certificate of insurance naming the town of Plattsburgh as additionally insured, the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue said license for a period of Monday, July 13th, 2026 through Saturday, July 18th, 2026. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and codes enforcement officer.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ilona, do I have a second?
Second?
Dana. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 162, RFP for auditing services for 2026, 2027, and 2028.
Whereas in accordance with the requirements of the Single Audit Act of 1984 and the Single Audit Amendment of 1996, independent audits for the years ending December 31st, 2026, 2027, and 2028 must be performed. And whereas the Office of the State Comptroller requires municipalities to complete the annual fiscal report in a timely manner and based upon the audited financial statements. Now, therefore, it is resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the Supervisor to solicit and receive proposals for the independent auditing and possible submission of the annual financial report of the Town of Plattsburgh fiscal records for the years 2026, 2027, and 2028. And be it further resolved that the Finance Manager receive a copy of this resolution.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dana, do I have a second?
Second?
Dan, this is a normal contract that we re-up every 3 years. I will tell you that the one thing that's different with this is the part that states possible submission of the annual financial report of the Town of Plattsburgh. Typically, our finance manager has submitted the AFR, which, you know, is not uncommon, but it is also not uncommon for auditing firms to submit that for the municipal entity also. Revert to my fire district time, Cable Fire District uses an auditor every year, or has their books audited every year. That auditor submits the AFR on behalf of the fire district. There may be a little more expense, but it may be worth it to look at it. So the RFP is gonna be broken out such that we can see both. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Draft resolutions for the meeting of July 9th. There will be an abstract again, so we'll need the audits, you know, done on those. The next one, near and dear to our heart, Dana, is the resolution accept proposal for infrastructure management from Precision Sidewalks. That's gonna be a study of our town sidewalks. So we are gonna go forward with this, absolutely. We know that there's roughly 14 to 15 miles of sidewalks in the town. Just a reminder, this report will study every foot of sidewalk in the town. We will get pictures of anything that needs to be repaired, replaced, and they will also prioritize all of those repairs. And if we give them a yearly budget that we wish to put forth, they will tell us, do this section this year, this section the year after. Some interesting numbers, quick. I actually had a contractor come forward and talk with us regarding sidewalk replacement. That's actually somebody from the Cadwell Fire Department, but he just asked me about it. It stopped. It's astronomical what the cost of this is. For complete demolition and replacement, it's somewhere between $100 and $125 a foot. And what that would mean for us to completely replace 1 mile of that sidewalk is gonna be somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000. To replace everything in the town, could be somewhere between $7 to $10 million.
And that's just looking at existing sidewalks?
That's
Not
just
sidewalks that
exist-
like end and there's nothing connected between?
100%.
Okay.
I had somebody contact me on one of those, and believe me, we
There are
know,
many.
yeah,
Yeah.
we know they're there. But what our hope, and Trevor and I had a long discussion with this is the foundation, this is gonna give us the plan.
Mhm.
We'll have the plan on the shelf. Should there become grant monies available, be it Safe Streets, whatever grants may become available, we will have a plan.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be able to immediately go back after that grant money, which is one of the things that grants really look for is what is your plan? What do you can't just say, well, we gotta fix the sidewalks. We'll be able to tell them specifically what our 5 or 10-year plan is to replace. Um, and I really think when we go into our budget discussions this year, we need to start setting a dollar amount that we're gonna replace. Even if it's $50,000 and we only replace 500 feet, it's 500 feet that the next year you don't have to replace. And we really need to get into a cycle where this becomes much like we do with water tanks, where we have a service agreement, where we know we're gonna do that routine maintenance. It's one of these things that they've been put in. We were talking about the ones in Katyville because those are the folks that I hear from, and believe me, we've heard from the folks there, and understand completely, but it's 40 years ago that those were replaced. And, you know, I'm not going back on any boards in the past, but, you know, very often, and this was very common, we build it and we're done with it. But when we build things, we need to figure out how we're gonna take care of it. So, a few things on the supervisor's report, I'll just go down through this really quick. I was in a meeting this morning at our town office, the Regional Economic Development Council. That also known as Red Sea. So that was Jim McKenna, Steve Burns, were there for a meeting, basically to talk about the CFA, the consolidated funding application. Great presentation, and we know that we're going after some CFA money. You know, one of them is the KICS program, to potentially fix drainage problem that we have out at Cumberland Head Park, over, you know, the Champlain Park, Rec Park. But great meeting. We had great representation there. There was not a lot of people there, but it was great because Jess, Trevor, and myself were there, so we had 3 representatives of the town of Plattsburgh. So I think anytime we can get our face in front of those people, because they're that council, those are the folks that review a lot of our grants. So I think that helps. Jennifer and I attended yesterday the Empire State Child Care Share Program. The state is rolling out a program for childcare that's basically for individuals that hit the 85% of the area median income. The state is offering up childcare money. Basically what it is thirds. So if you have somebody that qualifies for this program, the state would pay a third, the employer would pay a third of the child care, and then the individual would be responsible for the final third. So we are taking a look at it for our own team even. And Jennifer's crunching some numbers, doing some survey to get an idea if we became involved in this share program. But I think get the word out there. If you see people, you're talking to people that are employers, childcare is huge. I think the cap for our area for your normal childcare is $300 a week, which would mean we would be responsible for 100 of that $300. But if we can recruit and retain great people, $100 a week is not a lot of money to spend, really, when you get right down to it. I also today met with Trevor County and some folks from Economic Development Administration doing some brownfield visits. So they were out doing, and we have several in the town. There was a couple of visits out at the old air base, looking at some of the old buildings, et cetera. We took a drive up to the Jennings Road to the old town dump. So, yeah, again, face in front of the people, meet with them, and find out what that money's all about. For those that didn't hear about it, TDC got a great grant, $1 million towards a child care facility. They're moving forward with that from everything I could see, because that meeting I went to yesterday on the child care share program was at TDC. So I had an opportunity static. We're static, that's gonna be a 10,000 square foot facility, 150 kids for childcare. Cliff Haven Park, if you haven't been out there, is hydro seeded. So the seed is down, keep your fingers crossed, that the grass grows, and we may be able to play soccer on those fields this fall, but, it is out, and thanks to the Parks group, for their hard work out there. And also the county, soil and water, Pete Hager was out there from county soil and water with a couple of interns with his hydro seed machine there for 3 or 4 days this week, blowing the hydro seed. CVES is getting close to completion, and it has been, it's one of the hot topics around town hall right now because, you know, codes planning and water, wastewater involved with that as they get down trying to get a temporary certificate of occupancy. We will have a road named and dedicated at some point. I had a discussion with Eric Fowler. Oh, my page is gonna go off. I think so. And just a couple of last things that I want to throw out. Town law organization. I think everybody knows we have Marley Bull there as an intern. She's been doing wonderful work with Jay. Town laws are now all on a spreadsheet, all organized, the current ones. And right now she's in the process of putting a link with each town law so that you can go in and click the link and it will bring up the PDF of that town law. So she's in process doing that right now. As soon as that's done, we're gonna get that out to everybody, including all the department heads. And then we're gonna go through those town laws, and I think we're probably gonna have one big town law, whether it be number 6 or 7 of 2026, we'll probably rescind some of the old laws that are kicking around on the books. We'll get them cleaned up, and hopefully we can maintain that spreadsheet with the link. That's a lot easier than trying to figure out, I mean, obviously having the town law books, but it's a lot easier having that spreadsheet with the link. You can just go in and click and get it, so terrific work. And then when she gets done with that, Jay's got some mausoleum mapping.
Well, I think it's been a great exercise that I think we should continue into the future. There's so many different programs that and projects that we could have interns. I think the town of Plattsburgh becoming a real good site for college students to come and learn about local government, but be able to contribute significantly in something that seems mundane, but to be able to do this in a way that gets us a better handle of what our local laws are is very valuable.
Yeah.
And so her efforts and your having made the connection with her and bringing her on board was a really great decision. So
Yeah,
we should
no,
continue.
super.
Yeah.
And she is, we do have a schedule set up for her, so she is gonna bounce and spend a day in each one of the departments also, so that she gets some exposure there. And we actually have her logging in, so she tracks her time, so she'll have that information to take back to school with her. But it's a great find, and she's doing a great job, and it's been very nice having her there. Skip. And last couple of things I have, we're signing, actually I signed off on the grant. I think that was through HCR, we signed with JCEO to complete the study and plan for white pines. The additional mix of duplexes, I think there's some singles in there too. So that's a go. That'll be going out to RFP for the planning stages of that. That's in conjunction with JCEO. JCEO already has the white pine section out there, kind of off the turnpike right there further towards 374 on that side of the road. Eric is on board, just so everybody knows, doing a bang-up job. Really installed our new air compressor today, put new lights up in the shop area, in highway, so everybody's ecstatic.
She also took care of the electrical issues over at the mausoleum, just like that.
Just like that. Yeah, she brought that back and showed it to me.
Yeah.
And the beds in front of the entrance look very nice.
So she has just been, yeah,
Mhm.
everything's going great with that. So, very, very pleased with that. Last thing I will mention today, I was with water, wastewater. It's fun factoid, I don't know if anybody else here knew it, because I didn't. If you did, you were one up on me. The sanitary sewer that runs through Champlain Centers, you know it because we discussed it at that meeting, so you know this. But the sanitary sewer that runs through Champlain Center's parking lot is actually ours. Originally was the malls, but then when we expanded out, I think Melody over in that area, when they put sewer into those areas, we actually tied in so that the sanitary sewer that runs down through the parking lot at the mall actually belongs to the town of Plattsburgh. It covers that site over on the turnpike. I never knew it was ours.
You said fun fact?
Yeah.
We have different definitions of fun.
Well, Josh from water and sewer, because I was over there, they've been doing manhole repairs, the risers. So what had happened, some of these were set in over there, and to bring it up to grade, they actually used bricks with mortar to bring it up. That's all broken down, so they're settling. So I was actually over there with them, watching them today, and again, amazed at just the way they work and the equipment. It really gives you a better understanding of the equipment that we purchased, the small excavator, the smaller dump truck that we bought, some of the items that we bought, to see them using that, and the teamwork that goes into that, because there was 4 of the team members from water, wastewater working there, and it was just like a fluid motion. They hardly even spoke to each other. But it's just like they knew what was coming next, and the way they worked together, and the equipment that they use. And Josh probably didn't think it was as much fun because some of the bricks went down, so he was low man on the totem pole, so to say. So he got to go down in the manhole and dig it out with a shovel, throw it in the bucket, and pull it up to the top. So yeah, that was a bit. But again, just great to see him out there. And I would say, if you have the time at some point, just try to line up with them when they're doing some of that work, because they appreciate the fact that somebody was there to see what they're doing. And it's just great to see the camaraderie, the way they work together, and it really does give you a much better understanding of the equipment that we buy and what they're doing with it. So, any committee reports? I droned on long enough, but there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay, I would, actually, I don't need to entertain a motion to, because we are in a work session, so we will adjourn at 6:59. We held it to 59 minutes. Very good.
So you struggled with the term fun